So thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you to our panelists. To introduce myself quickly, my name is Kate Hinchy. I'm a reporter with The Real Deal. It is 2025, and content is capital. The economy runs on attention. It's all about how you get and keep eyeballs on you and your properties. We're well past the point of having to explain that new media matters, that a digital presence is a must. So today we're going to look at how some of the industry's top creators leverage social platforms to build their careers. We have Alyssa Morgan, the founder of the Inside Network, who has a following 22,000 strong on Instagram. Also with us is Glenda Baker, all the way from Marietta, Georgia. Glenda has 875,000 followers on TikTok, 327,000 followers on Instagram, and a YouTube channel where she shares her long-form content. She is one of the most followed real estate content creators in the industry, and she built that audience in less than 5 years.
Yes.
And then in the middle, we've got Michael Ruiz, whose Legendary Productions has really pioneered the luxury real estate content landscape. He has masterminded the digital presence of some of South Florida's biggest agents, Dina Goldentayer, Sonata Odzem, Devin Kay, to name a few. He's also built a following himself with more than 500,000 followers on Legendary's Instagram and a home tour YouTube channel that racks up millions of views per video. So to start us off, when did each of you get into content creation, and did you have an aha moment where you just knew this was going to be huge? Glenda, do you want to start?
Hello, everybody. My name is Glenda Baker. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm excited to be here. This is my first time at The Real Deal. I started doing video in 2016 from watching Gary Vee, and they were terrible. They were awful. I was actually going through menopause, and I was like sweating. It was so bad. But we still posted them, and then I started doing live video from my car, and it was called Post from the Porsche. And I did that in 2017. And then I happened to be at a conference in 2020, and I saw a realtor who had posted a video about how their client had bought a car in between contract and closing and disqualified themselves for a loan. And that video had 43,000 views. And I looked at my friend Sergio and I said, if that guy can do video, I can do video. So I went back to Atlanta and got very intentional about shooting video. I hired a videographer and they came to my house. I shot it in my kitchen and I posted 2 videos a week on TikTok. I started with 122 followers on October the 7th. And by February 6th, I had 32,000, and by May, I had 100,000. And it was just all giving advice, sugar and spice real estate advice. I give advice to buyers, sellers, and investors. So no house porn, just me talking.
And then, Michael, you're all about house porn.
I'll be short on how I started, but I was gonna get into the real estate industry about, 14 plus years ago. I spent one summer with one of my friends and one of my other friends' $10 million house in Coconut Grove. At the time, I was gonna get my license, and then the Amazon commercial came in with the packages being delivered to your house, and that got me thinking, because I don't look nerdy, but I am very nerdy. And long story short, between the Amazon commercial and MTV Cribs, I ended up not getting my license, and I spent one summer practicing real estate, video and photos. How I got into actually doing that was because I was gonna get my license. I started to study what people were doing, and it was horrendous. To this day, a lot of it is still horrendous, but I ended up not getting my license, spent one whole summer, self-taught myself how to do everything. And then I was fortunate enough at the time that I was doing that, and my energy and personality, I was able to align myself with the Jills then, and then go down the list, and here I am today.
Mm-hmm. You were like, none of you know how to do content. This is terrible. Let me do it for you.
Something like that.
Yeah. And Alyssa, when did you get into socials?
So I started my business when I was 20 years old, and at the time I was going up against top producers in the business for, they were in the industry for 10, 20, 30 years. And what I had that made me different and stand out was my Instagram marketing and my social media marketing. Mike was actually one of the first photographer, videographers that I hired, and we created beautiful over-the-top content, and people loved it. So I would go into a listing presentation, and maybe I didn't have the 10, 20-year track record, but I was super passionate, and our marketing crushed. And I would get listings, and I would get actual buyer leads and close deals from my Instagram, just from my audience and followers.
Mm-hmm. So how do you guys see social media changing real estate? How has the industry kind of morphed around these platforms that emerged in the last 15 years?
Well, you now have the ability to curate the narrative of your community, of what you sell, of your brand. There's never been a more important time for you as an agent to create your own brand separate from your brokerage or from anything else. And Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick the platform of choice that your client, your avatar is on, and really dive deep into bringing value to your client and visibility. It is not about virality and vanity. I'm not over here being a comedian trying to sell real estate to create content. I'm creating content to sell real estate. And that's where a lot of agents miss the mark. Bring value and visibility in the content that you share. And it doesn't matter if you have 1 follower or 1 million followers, you will be able to transact, because conversion happens in conversation, and conversation happens in comments. Don't post and ghost. Be there and engage with your audience.
I agree with Glenda and a lot of the things that she says. I mean, I think the industry has evolved in a very cringy way. I think a lot of people are putting themselves on camera that should not be on camera, or representing the houses and the brokerages that they're representing, I think, incorrectly. I think the social media is like a gray area, because people are selling you, a lot of people try to sell you, oh, do the videos here, you're gonna go viral. The viral doesn't mean anything if whoever's looking at your video is in another country sitting in underwears, looking at your videos and liking them. I think the industry has kind of evolved away from that human interaction, which is where you actually build your social media sphere. Mm-hmm. When I was walking around here, everybody that would say hi to me or talk to me, I would make sure, hey, am I following you on Instagram? Follow me, because I want them to see me and see what I'm doing. But I think the industry's gotten away from that, and I'm not a real estate agent. I create content, but if I was a real estate agent, no matter where I'm at or where I'm selling, let me look at the top 5, top 10 people that are actually selling and making money. Mm-hmm. They're not dancing on tables or doing those skits that whatever her name is does in Tampa. They're actually presenting these properties in a professional manner and presenting themselves in a way that separates them from the masses. So the reality of it is these people that are selling are going to continue to sell, and the people that are doing all this trendy stuff are going to fall out eventually, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we were having a really lively conversation backstage about the agent and creator Tampa Bree. She got a big write-up in the New York Times a few weeks ago. You might know her tagline, "This house has more bush than my mom in the 80s." And Glenda, you had some strong opinions about what she was bringing to real estate content creation.
Yeah, she makes my head spin around and snot fly out of my nose. So we sell homes, what are usually people's single largest asset. We sell homes where people live their lives and bring their families and bring their friends and create milestones. And the mere fact that someone would be so disrespectful to that home, to that property, makes me violent. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that. But it really angers me. And it's such a poor reflection of our industry. We are professionals. We get paid a lot of money to be professional. The worst agents are highly overpaid and the best agents are highly undervalued. And when someone like that gets a following or gets spotlighted, that scares the hell out of me, because everybody in this room should be creating content that is valuable to the consumer, not somebody who's trying to be some damn comedian. That's what really pisses me off.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that ties into a question that I actually had for you guys, which is, is there an etiquette to content creation in real estate? Whether it's, talking about people's homes or the market, or even, Michael, like we were talking about when you're going and filming at someone else's listing, like how do you kind of navigate that in a way that is, polite and maintains your standing with your colleagues?
I think I don't think there's any type of law or etiquette in place. Hence why you're getting a lot of the stuff that you're getting out there. I just think, to be honest with you, I just think that that agents, if I was an agent, and I worked hard to get a $5 million listing or a 10 or a 20 or whatever it is, I work with people that sell, 100, 2, 3, 4, $800 million. I've been lucky and fortunate to work with very successful people. And what I've seen that they all have in common is they're not letting, other agents come into their listings and create content. That's where this problem's coming into play, because there's no way that all these people on my feed got these listings when you look up their names and they got 0 sales. Mm-hmm. So that's I think that's one of the layers. The other layers is all these videographers running around doing things for free because they live in their mom's house and they're out of college. So it's a weird gray area, but
yeah. Alyssa, have you ever had to?
Yeah, I would say that I've actually had positive stories of collaborations, more so. Like, I have agents that religiously come to my open houses, come to my listings, they post it on story, I get in front of their network and they bring buyers back for the showing, and it has resulted in closings. So I would say in that aspect, it works. Something else that we do on my team even is when I'm at a showing or a listing, I post it on story, I tag all of them so that they repost it, and a lot of times they will get the buyer for my listing for it, and we close deals from it. So I would say it works as long as it's collaboration and not competition, and you're giving credit to where it's due, not acting like it's your listing if it's not your listing. But as long as it's collaboration over competition, I think that it has worked.
Yeah. Well, and that ties into another question I had for you all, which is basically your approach, your strategy with social, from how do you navigate your pipeline of production to getting it online, and what platforms do you focus on? I know, Glenda, you described to me what sounded like a very structured, very efficient, very pragmatic approach to how you just churn out content. Can you tell us a little bit about how you do that?
So I batch shoot evergreen content once a month. I take 4 hours and I shoot 30 to 50 unscripted videos. The ideas come to me throughout the month. I have a Google form on the homepage of my phone, and when I get an idea, I open up my phone, I put the idea in there. Then when I sit down with my videographer, I open up my laptop and we go down the list. Really very structured, because I am posting a video every day. So I need 30 videos every single month. But in my static post, on my board or whatever you call the thing, it's a celebratory, it's a moment frozen in time. When I closed the house, it's me and the client with a cake. Or then in my stories, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's me getting the rat out of the attic. It's me cleaning up the shit pellets. It's that kind of stuff. Because when you're posting just listed and just sold, that's once upon a time in the end. You literally diminished your value because you talked about that you got 4 offers, $40,000 over the list price in 4 days. Why did they even need you? You never told them about the story about how you helped organize the estate sale and how you had it staged and videoed and photographed. And that was in strategically pricing and how you consulted. So you miss the opportunity to add value when you don't tell the story. So I really focus on the good, the bad, and the ugly, the story of the house, and then the evergreen content, which is my sugar and spice real estate advice. Mm-hmm. And I post, you got to keep in mind, I post probably 30 to 40 stories a week. I post videos every single day, and then I post static posts, and that gets me about 2.5 million views a week across my video catalog.
Yeah, that's astounding. When I first discovered your content I really thought, oh my God, she must spend all day, every day on camera, and no, it's 4 hours in a month.
Yeah, I'm selling houses every day. Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Michael, you're obviously very focused on the content production side. What do your days look like?
I'm a cheat code because I have endless content. So a lot of agents, where they struggle is having the content to put on social media. But I'll give you a story, quick story, fast. YouTube, right? So I did some research into my YouTube channel, which I never really look at it. It's just been on autopilot. I launched it in 2015. So 2015 I launched it, it's 2025. I have 358,000 subscribers in YouTube. I have over 111 million views on my brand on that channel. And this is the interesting part, which just came from the clouds on the side. In the 10 years that I've been doing this, in total, the channel has paid me $1.3 million from my videos being on that platform. Why I say this, right? She mentioned a lot value. And there's like 3 pillars that always stick in my head in everything I do in life. Value is one of them. My value is making sure that the home looks good, making sure they look good, and making sure that they're happy and the homeowner's happy, which is another elephant in the room. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, so you got value, so my product, the quality. Number 2 is being authentic, being real. So on my page, this is who I am, this is how I am. You're never gonna catch me in a suit. I'm gonna put the videos on my channels with rap music. This is who I grew up being. So authentic is huge, which the people that are the most successful are being authentic in how they're presenting themselves versus copying trends. Mm-hmm. And then 3 is consistency, which is the hardest thing. So I've been consistent in everything that I love in my life. I'm very consistent. And that's what's yielded the results that I do, because I never think about the results. I think about the results when I enter something I love, but then I forget about it like a goldfish, and I focus on the path. And that's what I do every day, from gym to work to giving the energy to the right people. And that's what yields the results. That's how I was able to do what I did on my Instagram channel, while at the same time elevating agents that are successful like Glenda and Alyssa. So.
Yeah. No, and Alyssa, so you and Michael worked together early on. What does your content production look like nowadays?
Yeah, so my goal with my page is to make you feel like you know me before you even know me. So I really am posting throughout my day, and it's just like what I'm doing. It's pretty raw. I'm going to this Pilates class and I tag the studio, and then I get in front of that Pilates studio's audience. I go to my showings and I post the showings. I go to a Mommy Me class, I get in front of those moms. I go to a dinner date night and I post what restaurant I'm at. I'm really taking you through my day so you feel like you know me. The perfect example I think of this working is the other week I walked into a group And they were like, oh my God, it's the real estate agent that I follow on Instagram. And like, that's what I want. I want to be known to be like that Miami real estate agent that you follow and actually feel comfortable enough to reach out to and ask a question and see the property with me, not send it to your real estate agent or sister to go show you the property.
Tag everything you do. Tag, because then she reposts, I repost, she reposts, everybody starts seeing it. It's the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, just tagging. Well, and you also said, Michael, in our prep call, you were talking about, I follow everyone, I want to follow me.
So, at the end of the day, I follow a lot of real estate agents because that's where my business comes from. But I make the time to follow every single one of these. And when they post something, I heart it or I say something, and whether you're an agent or whatever business that you're in, follow who you want to do business with. How are you going to follow them? By actually interacting with them in person. So that's how you get them to look at you and follow you back. But that's huge.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's all about approaching these platforms really strategically. And I know you all kind of each have different kinds of content you do on the different platforms. Are there particular platforms you really prioritize? Like, this is, I'm sure, the question everyone wants me to ask is, if you were starting from scratch today, building an audience, where would you build it and how would you do it?
It's not about my platform of choice. It's about my audience's platform of choice. Don't be so stuck on, I love Instagram. I'm only going to post on Instagram. When your people may be on TikTok or Facebook or LinkedIn, what is the platform of choice for your audience? When I create content, it's what would I tell my best friend? What would I tell my best client? What would I tell my therapist about real estate? Then I do it to inspire, impact, and inform. That's what I want to do with the videos that I make. And I want to do that by being real, relatable, reliable, and relevant. And so all of the content that I make falls under that umbrella. So it gives me a very structured outline to create the content and then how I want to create it. And for me, I just work better and more efficiently if I do it like that.
Yeah, lots of structure in your approach. I mean, Michael, how would you start from scratch?
I would just say I wouldn't favor any platform in general. I mean, YouTube has been great for me in one way, but Instagram, I can't even count the number of business I've got from it because it's hard to trace. But I always tell people, everybody has a God, somebody they look up to, whatever your God is. But number 2 in life is Google. So if you're not, and it's free, you feed this really well, it pays off. But you got to feed it and be consistent. Feed it and be consistent. You might not have as much content as I do right now, but if you have 2 nice posts a week, do 2 every week. 2 turns to 3, turns to 4, turns to 5, turns to sales. I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm primarily on Instagram. So what I would do if I were starting fresh on Instagram is, for my followers that I would want probably 3 different buckets. The first one being like Miami real estate agents, posting like open houses and then just getting leads, or posting listings and getting leads that way. The second would be people that want to live in Miami or already live in Miami. A little trick that I used to do when I first started is I would get a listing, let's say at the Carillon, then I would go through the geotag and reach out to everyone that tagged themselves there and send them my listing. That's kind of like how I built my Miami followers. So that's a good tip. And then like leveraging whatever you enjoy. Like right now, I really like to leverage my life events. I just had a baby. Like getting in front of the moms. Like the mom group has been amazing for my business. I've done a lot of deals that way. So just kind of leveraging what you actually enjoy, what you're doing, and getting in front of that network and making it work for you on social.
Are there any mistakes you all see people making as they're trying to build up the content part of their business in real estate?
Well, I think there's lots of mistakes that real estate agents make when they're trying to build their content. I think that number 1, they're not consistent. They don't commit to it. They don't bank the content. some days I wake up and it's like a bad hair day, or I just don't feel good, or I'm a little bit grouchy. And the content, if I'm gonna use that day as a content creation day, then it's gonna suck, because it's just kind of a reflection of where I am mentally. But on the good days, do your live video. I love live video, and I get so much engagement from that, especially when I'm asking questions about, like, what do you think about this? Like, if you were the seller, what would you do? If you were the buyer, what would you want? And asking those questions. But I think that you need to bank content, and I think you need to pick a focus, set goals, set an outline of what exactly you want to do with social media, and do it. Like, literally do it. Like, that's the biggest problem, is that you're like, oh, I'm gonna go back home and I'm gonna shoot video. And then, oh, well, I don't like the way I look. Get in your car and call it Mercedes Minutes, talks from the Tesla, tips from the Tesla. Like, you got great lighting, shoot it from your phone and get started. And do it on live video, because that cuts your teeth.
It's like a little bit like stand-up in that way. Like, you're just right in front of the audience, pretty raw.
Yeah, like, if you have like a bad inspection or something, you can get on there and talk to your friends and say, can you believe this shit? This is crazy. Like, why did he put this in the inspection? Like, that's the thing that I love, is like the live video. So, and I do say bad words, and that may not be professional, but I'm weeding out the riffraff by doing that. Because like, if you're coming to do business with me and you think you're gonna get somebody who's all buttoned up, you probably are looking in the wrong spot. And then I've sold 27 houses on Tinder, so, I'm prepared to prospect wherever I need to. So
That's one channel I haven't gotten into yet, Tinder.
No, it may not be I may not be Mrs. Right, but he's going to find her, and when he does, I hope he thinks about me as his real estate agent.
Okay, so everyone should be adding Tinder to their platforms. Add that to your broker page. Find me on Tinder.
I don't have it on my website, but maybe I should add that.
You should.
I think that's the best success story I've ever heard, by the way, Tinder.
Michael, do you see any mistakes people make?
I think be authentic. I think that's really the thing. I think most people try to emulate or replicate what other people are doing, and I think, whether you have 0 followers or wherever it is that you're doing it, if you're not putting yourself out there for who you really are, you're not going to yield the results that you want. Like, people work with people because they like your energy, they like how you present yourself, etc. So the more that you're trying to copy others, the less that you're going to get business from whatever it is you're creating in content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say the same thing too. It's like, you've got to tell the story. Like, don't just post like, just sold 30 million. Like, how'd you sell it? Like, people want to know what the real story is. I have been prospecting. I door knocked on this person's house 10 years ago. I've been aggressively following up. I finally got the listing, and I sold it the first week and I posted it on social media and found the buyer. Like, people want to know the real story, and not just like a just listed, just sold. A lot more like storytelling, so people can really get to know who you are.
Yeah. I think the continuing theme is authenticity, and people want these. Parasocial relationships with their influencers. They want to feel like they really, really know you. Okay, so I was given permission by the powers that be to do a Q&A at the end of this, so we can. Okay, I think we have mic runners potentially. Awesome. Okay, we have a few hands in the front row.
Hi, love all three of you, Alyssa, Mike, Glenda, beautiful. Glenda, what's your favorite book?
My favorite book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Amazing.
Just continue to do small things every single day to get better.
Mike?
I don't really read
Alyssa?
books.
The Power of Now.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you. Congrats to all of you.
I love the curveball question.
Thank you so much. In addition to Tinder, do you recommend any other platforms we never talk about, but they could be really useful for growing your brand?
So I don't know how many of you have heard about Clubhouse. It's an app that came out during COVID. And think about it that if a chat room and a podcast had a baby, it's Clubhouse. I have gotten more agent-to-agent referrals off of that one single app. And I host a room every week on Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern. And it's real estate in real life in real time. And I've done so much. I bet you, no lie, I have done 35 agent-to-agent referrals off that one platform.
Wow, that's shocking.
Yeah.
Anyone else? I know I think we have some.
Hi. What gets you more results? Organic content or produced content?
I'll go. So for me, it's the organic, like my story posts actually get the most. So it's me just like filming myself at a listing, like me actually filming it on my iPhone. And those are the DMs that I get the most that actually turn into something. I think what's nice about it too is like, it's not giving you all of the facts about the property. So people actually have to like ask like, what's the address or how much is it or where is this? So you're getting a lot more leads because you're not giving away all the information in a story post.
For me, it's probably story time. When I tell stories about when I sold the wrong house, when the seller threw me out because I didn't agree with the price that he thought his house was worth. Those story times, people can see themselves in those stories, and that is my biggest converting. And most of that is produced, where nothing is scripted that I do, everything is off the cuff. But that in particular, telling the stories about houses I've listed, houses I've sold, and things that have happened to me in real estate have really worked well for me.
Thank you.
My content's all produced, so it tends to look fresh always. But most of the pictures you see on me on social media is just my iPhone. And it's just, I walked around here and I'm taking the stuff with the iPhone, posting it on stories. And that circulates that way. So that's how I get a lot of business, which is the tagging, which Alyssa had referenced. Tagging is what gets me the most eyeballs, because then it starts to circulate. When I'm doing these homes, I'm tagging the agents, I'm tagging the builders, the architects, the interior designers, who did the kitchen, who did the roof, who's the gardener. Then you start to get on their pages, and if they can afford to hire them, they probably can afford to buy a house from you. Or buy a video from me, whatever.
Michael, I have a question for you. By the way, all of you are just so impressive in Glenda. I'm a huge fan. So for somebody you've never worked with, so I'm a New York broker. I'm actually added Miami to my I expanded my business between New York and Miami. For somebody who doesn't have much of a business yet established in Miami, I've dealt with people who I referred. Unfortunately, my partner is no longer alive. So if I work with you, how do I create content, and what do I need to do to be prepared for you so we can jumpstart something? Because you've been on my list to be in touch with.
Thank you. That's a hard one. I would tell you, a lot of the times I have new agents that I've always had like a good, good eye for people, good eye for energy, good eye. I've been able to align myself with a lot of people that I've elevated and have elevated me. But some I found at the beginning, a lot of them I've already found them kind of in the middle of their path. So at the beginning, if I was in your shoes, I would try to start first building a resume. My stuff comes into play really strong once you have the real estate. The real estate, I've always said, real estate is king, composition is queen. The real estate is key for you to brand yourself, for you to build that reputation that you're going to trust, that you'll have buyers trust in you to sell their homes. So I think start there more than anything. And in regards to content, while you're on that path, start with the iPhone. Start with what Alyssa said. It doesn't have to look good. It just has to represent you for real. And at the end of the day, you'd rather have 100 followers that are going to give you business and have 1,000 people in underwear somewhere else liking your stuff. And then you start there, and then before you know it, and don't look so much. Most of the people I meet in life don't live in the moment. I've always said, I was telling Glenda backstage, I'm like a goldfish. I forget everything 10 minutes after I say it. but I'm always happy, and I don't think about my results. I think about helping people, helping my team, helping my brand, and then it evolves from there.
Thank you.
Michael
We're
is
still
a
gonna
really
work
good.
together, though.
We are. I know we are.
Michael is a really good motivational speaker.
We all got a nice motivation.
This is the first
speech
time I ever
back
got on
there.
stage, by the way.
I'm feeling hyped up. Do we have any more questions? One on the end, one in the back.
It's working already.
I don't know
Yeah.
where our mic ran
Over
away
here.
to.
Yeah, so straight, yeah, here.
Here?
I'll stand up, maybe that's better. So just a question in general. I feel comfortable asking this question after hearing some pretty good jokes on stage, but is there anything that men should be posting or that women should be posting, or do you think it really doesn't make a difference in the positive sense?
I don't think it makes a difference. I mean, do
You
you?
want to chime in? I mean,
You're the guy.
on my I think the luxury real estate business. I don't know the statistics. I could be wrong, but I think it's on the marketing side. It's definitely more dominated by women than men. There's only two guys in Miami that I work with that are really good on camera, Marco and Reed, and they're super real. There's no script. They have fun. They joke around. But I think guys in general, I think talk less, show yourself tastefully in the videos. You know, I can't see him. He's far. Maybe he looks like a model. I'm not a model, so. But yeah, I would say tastefully do it. Women are a little bit more built for the extra camera stuff, I guess, if I had to put my 2 cents.
Anyone else? Maybe we do one more question. So.
Hi, so I'm a managing broker, and maybe there's people that aren't asking this question. Miami is pretty international, and English is not everybody's first language here. So if you're multilingual and maybe English is not your first language, and you want to open up your followers, what kind of advice would any of you give to that person that doesn't feel good about, maybe they don't even speak very well, or that they're self-conscious of their English? Would you recommend that they do a post in their language, maybe, you know, do Spanglish or multi-language type of thing? So what's your take on that, any of you?
Oh, my stars and stripes. Well, I'm not sure that English is my first language either. It's Southern. But, I mean, I would say speak in your native language. I mean, I will tell you, I think that if you speak a second language or a third language, you should absolutely make video content in that language, because you have far less competition by doing that. And I think that it's true to your brand. And if you were here the first day, you know, with the Latino buyer, and this is your market, my stars and stripes, I wouldn't even make videos in English. I would always make them in Spanish. So I just think that whatever is your first language, I think that you should lean into that. And if you want to do English as well, then praise the Lord and pass the money, because you got double the content.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, you know, speak in your language that you feel most confident in and hone in on that and like make that your specialty. Like on our team, we have a few people that can speak another language, and we have to, you know, refer all that business to those agents. So I think, you know, own it and make those your buyers.
If you don't like how you speak in another language, don't speak that language. That's what I would say, honestly. I get a lot of Latin people. I'm Cuban, so, and I tell the Latin people that have that accent, I'm like, listen, talk in your language. That's why we got subtitles or captions or whatever. Just put the captions in English, but you're gonna come off comfortable in yourself speaking your first language. Then, like, I can speak Spanish, and I would never come up here and talk in Spanish, because I talk English more than Spanish. So I would say follow your gut. If your gut's asking that question, it's because you're not comfortable with it. If you're not comfortable with it, you're not gonna produce results.
That's a great idea. You speak in Spanish and the subtitle is in English.
Subtitle in English.
Yeah, I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, well, I think we can call it there. Thank you so much for coming, everybody, and thank you to our panelists. This was great.